Warm welcome, dear viewers, to the international discussion dedicated to the global online forum, We Are People, We Want to Live, which was broadcasted on the 7th of May 2022 on the Creative Society platform. This is an 11 hours live broadcast uncovered the most relevant and vital topics of our contemporary society and was simultaneously interpreted into 100 languages by the volunteers of the Creative Society project. This forum was streamed on thousands of media channels. And before we move on to introducing our today's guest, I'd like to introduce my co-host, Marina, from the United States. Marina, happy to see you today.
Thank you so much, Konstantin. So glad to be here. And you're absolutely right. This forum, Global Crisis, We People Want to Live, was truly very, very important event for entire humanity because the truth was voiced during the forum, and this is the information that can help us build the society of our dreams, the creative society. What could be more important nowadays? So, dear viewers, please stay with us, as today we will dive even deeper into the topics discussed at the forum, and we also will hear from our guests why the information they heard inspired them to speak up and share with their friends and co-workers. I'm honored to introduce you to Maria Fernanda Ortiz Rosero. She is a medical doctor from Ecuador. Welcome, Maria. We're so happy that you're with us today. We also have Wilkins Etienne. He is an IT specialist from Florida, United States. Thank you so much for joining, Wilkins. Welcome. And our first question goes to Wilkins. Could you please share with us your thoughts and feedbacks on that global forum that happens on May 7th? What impressed you the most, and why do you think such information is needed to be presented to the entire world community?
Hi, Marina. Yeah, you're absolutely right. The truth was being spoken at the forum. There were so many topics that was talked about that to me really revealed just the magnitude and the reality of what is happening in our society today. All the topics with the energy, the climate, especially the refugee situation, the technological advancements that we can make towards building a better future. All those topics to me, I found so profound. And especially just the way it was pointed out of how absurd things are in the world and how it really could be. So this information, I feel, is really needed for the entire humanity to know the truth of what's happening today.
Thank you very much.
And would like to address the same question to Maria. Please share with us what impressed you most at the forum. Which topic or which episode to you was most memorable for you? Please share with us.
Hola a todos.
Hi, everybody.
Bueno, para mí, lo que más me impresionó del foro,
as far as I'm concerned, there are three things that struck me most about this forum. First, it is obvious that there are many problems for which we as human beings on this planet are responsible. And these problems, as I now understand from the forum, exist in all countries and in all regions. That is, they practically affect everyone, affect all regions on the planet, and affect in the same way.
existen
What
también
caught
esos
my
problemas y
attention
hemos estado
was
mucho tiempo
that in the
tratando de
region where
buscar
I live,
soluciones sin darnos cuenta que en otros
people also
lados
have
del
these
mundo, en otro
problems,
lado del mundo
and
ya
we have
existen
been
esas
trying to
soluciones
find
o por lo
solutions for a
menos
long
ya hay una
time,
idea de cómo hacerlo. Pero como estamos fragmentados,
not realizing
estamos
that in
divididos,
other
no
parts
hay
of the
esa
world,
conexión para poder
in other regions of
encontrar
the
ese
world,
sentido común,
these
ese
solutions
sentido
already exist, or
para
at
llegar a esa
least there
resolución.
is already an idea of
Otro
how to do
punto,
this.
otro punto también que
But
me
because
llamó
we
la
are
atención del
fragmented and
foro
divided,
es darme
there is no
cuenta de
connection to
la
find
crisis
that
más grande
unified meaning,
que
that
engloba
solution,
todo lo
that
que se presentó
solution,
en
to
el
come to
foro,
that
que es
solution.
prácticamente la
The
crisis humana.
second point that
Hay
also
una
struck
crisis
me at the
humana
forum
donde
is the awareness of a global
totalmente
crisis that
estamos
embraces
a la
all
deriva sin
spheres. It
saber
was
por
presented
qué
at the
estamos en
forum.
esta existencia.
It is almost a
Porque
crisis of
cuando
humanity.
si esto no
There is a
existiera, si esta
universal
crisis humana
crisis
no
where we are
existiera, siendo
completely
nosotros el pilar de la sociedad,
adrift, not knowing why
ya
we exist in
todas
this
estas
world.
problemáticas presentadas estuvieran
Because if
resueltas.
this didn't exist, if this
Y la
universal
tercera
human
parte
crisis didn't
que
exist,
me llamó
if we were a
muchísimo
pillar
más la
of society,
atención
all
es
these
darme
problems would be
cuenta de
solved.
que hay personas que aún
And the
están,
third thing
que
that
están
struck me the
sufriendo, que
most
están
was the
pasando por cosas
awareness that there are people who
verdaderamente
are still suffering,
difíciles y
who
aún
are
así
going
están
through really
entregando su
difficult
corazón,
circumstances,
su vida
and yet they
prácticamente
are giving
a
their
querer generar
hearts,
este cambio a nivel global.
devoting their
Esas son las
lives,
tres cosas que
trying to
podría compartir con
practically make
ustedes.
these changes on a global level.
Thank you very much,
There are
Maria,
three
for
things.
sharing with us your understanding and your opinion. Right now, we'd like to continue with the topic of medicine. We know that despite the fact that medicine is a fundamental human right, but still in this field, this actually particular field is one of the weakest in our society. And unfortunately to say that today medicine is just a business. That is why we did not introduce the technology we need to save human lives and help people, which indeed the technologies could save millions of lives all over the world. Before we move on to the discussion and ask questions our today's speakers, let's watch a video about 3D printing of organs.
Millions of people around the world are waiting for an organ transplant. In China alone, there are 1.5 million people on the waiting list, while in the United States, 20 people die every day not being able to receive a donor transplant. In Russia, there were only 900 donors for 6 million people in 2017. Millions of people, including children, are dying around the world. And this is the terrible reality of today's consumerist society that does not value human life. The technology that could save the lives of these people is 3D organ printing. Transplantations of corneas, skin, bladder, and pancreas are already being performed nowadays.
While the preparation for this video, it was very painful to learn how many people are dying right now without an organ that they needed so urgent. So many children, so many people in a very young age who really could benefit and have a beautiful life after receiving a transplant that we can 3D print already. And only because in a consumer format, it's not profitable and it's very expensive. We do not have this technology. Maria, I would like to ask you a question. Why do you think millions of people do not have access to decent medical care? What can be done to change the situation?
Bueno, lo principal
most importantly, the most basic is the truth is that the creative society has the perfect answers to all of these questions. And as a healthcare professional, I can also say that it's very necessary so that every professional in the industry realizes what we really need. It happened that way that we were educated in the consumerist system, and we were taught to be a professional in the consumerist system. When you talk to a medical professional about this, there is an ego battle, a battle of egos, a battle of narcissism, a battle of liberation, and either I learn something new or I stick with what this consumer society has already taught me. And I can tell you from my experience, it's not that hard. It's just a matter of a wish to implement those changes. So the basic principle is to start changing the content, starting from education to the very core of what medicine itself is. Because all of our educational content is actually consumerist, what is very foundation. Medical education is consumerist. For example, I was present at the surgery where a patient had to have his auricle replaced. He needed a transplant because he was born without an auricle. This kind of surgery removes the rib cartilage, the cartilage of the rib. Then there is the risk that by removing the rib cartilage, you could perforate the patient's lung. So going through this whole process with so many risks, well, there is a better option, a more viable, healthier, and less harmful to the person. We have two variants. We have two options. Which one do we choose? At first glance, it's simple. We have to go through our walls, our barriers and blocks and choose the simplest and most humane option, which is to use a 3D printed organ. So, as I said, for me, first recommendation would be to start with education, to give medical education a new meaning. Yes, so by improving that part as well, we'll create more humane options for people and those who are receiving this care. They will also realize that as consumers, and we can tell them that, they have other options and they will want to choose from those ones.
Thank you so much, Maria, for sharing that with us. I'm not a healthcare professional, but I'm a professional patient because I need to go to the doctor. I bring my family, my son to the doctor every time when it's needed. And I can see with my own eyes how the system of healthcare is working in a consumer format. And definitely, we really would like to see the change. Because right now, even if the doctors, they truly would like to be very professional and help their patient. Unfortunately, their hands are so tied by the consumer format regulations. And this is very, very difficult. And you understand that we cannot change the system. We only can change the format of our society by voicing our demand to change. And that is very, very simple. But it's very, very important right now in order to change every sphere of our society. Because medicine is definitely one of the most important spheres. It's the health. What can be more important, right? Without health, you don't have life. And life is the highest value, and that's why it's the first foundation of the creative society. But when we look at other spheres of our life as a society, we also see that already we have a lot of different technology that can make life easier and save millions of lives around the globe already. For example, there are technology for 3D printing of food. And right now we know that we are experiencing the food shortage. We also can extract the water from the air. And we all know how difficult the situation is with the water, how many people are dying every day without having drinking water, and how many diseases we have because simply people do not have clear water for sanitation. We also can build houses very, very fast, as you can see right now. And this is so important right now in a time when we need to move many people from one continent to another due to climate change and disaster that we see everywhere in the world. And also, right now you see the 3D printing of housing. Look how beautiful this technology is. But again, it's just impossible to have it right now in a consumer format, because we need to sell something different and make profit on something different, but not do something that will benefit our lives, our lifestyles. And of course, we already have vertical farms. This technology is extremely important, and we need to develop and implement everywhere already, because that particular technology will be able to provide food for billions of people around the world. But unfortunately, we do not implement it. Wilkins, I have a question to you. What do you think about the modern format of our society? And do you have any idea why we do not utilize these technologies?
It's absurd to me that these great technologies exist that can solve many of our problems, but the problems still remain. And to your point with the food, there's wonderful technologies, just like you've shown, to help solve so much of this. It was pointed out in the forum how many hungry people there are, how many people die of starvation, and how does that even exist in our society? It really breaks my heart to see that these situations happen, not only in the United States where I'm at, but all over the world. This affects every single person, every single country on this planet. And it really boggles my mind that, we consider ourselves a civilization, but these things still occur, and like the solutions, they seem so simple when, the way it was presented at the forum, the vertical farms, the energy technology that can get us off of fossil fuels, or just trading money for fuel or for anything else. There's enough resources, there's enough technology on this planet to solve many of our problems. And it's just crazy to me that we put profiteering above the lives of our brothers and sisters. We're all connected, we're all together on this planet, and we just, out of what seems to me is just foolishness and stupidity, we don't do these things. And I mean, we really need the creative society to continue to promote these solutions, this idea that we can change this, so that enough people know about it to start saying, yeah, this is a real possibility. So those are my thoughts on that. It really is just, it's crazy to me that this exists, but I'm hopeful because there is an answer.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Like foolishness, stupidity, and greed. That's what motivates us not to change the format and not to utilize this technology. That's absolutely unbelievable. I was checking yesterday the statistic and I saw that yesterday 29,000 of people die of hunger. And like that number is just unbelievable. Can you imagine that already today we were able to help these people and save their lives? It's just something that we need to think about.
And I'd like to add that actually, indeed, as it was shown in the forum, the solutions to many problems are so simple. It doesn't matter whether it is food, whether it is clothing, whether it is healthcare. I am a little bit involved in healthcare system, like in medical education and medicine. And I remember the phrase that one of my oldest colleagues said recently. This is just for everyone to understand why we need to put on the first place the human life, but not the money. Once he said that we're all divided, all people, we're all divided into two categories, doctors and patients. And the first group, whether they want that or not, they still have to move from the first group into the group of patients. And literally, we're all patients. And the value of life and like the life itself is very important for every person. And we value our own life and the life of our loved ones. That's why I totally believe that we need, first of all, to put on the first place the human life, and second, to implement as soon as possible technologies that will help us to cure any kind of diseases quick and cheap. And that should be accessed by every person. Every person in the world should have access to these technologies and to these opportunities to cure their illnesses. Dear guests, the next question that I'd like to raise for today's discussion, from your point of view, why do you think it is important to share the information that was voiced during the forum? As during the forum, there were many questions raised that we are facing today as a society, many problems. Share with us your opinion, please. Why do you think it is important to share this forum with everyone? Maria, can I ask you to answer these questions first, please?
Okay. Creo que la importancia del foro.
I think the importance of the forum is that it acts as a force which unlocks the social paralysis everyone has in the consumer society. It makes us really think that there are people in other parts of the world who already actively want to change this reality. And it helps us have the courage to also activate ourselves wherever we are and help inform each other what we don't know and open those ways of true hope that humanity needs. So spreading information which was presented at the forum is very important. For my part, I try to do what I can. I use Facebook and social media to communicate, talk about it at least with my family. I always try to invite my friends. In other words, I actively promote the importance of the forum and the project because I think there are topics or it's a topic worth spending time on. So, first of all, it makes us realize, as I said before, that we are all experiencing the same problem, and if we, who are the structural early unit of the society, don't make these changes, They will not come from anywhere. So all the information and all the courage that people have shown in this forum is necessary for everyone to know this and make their choices. I believe wholeheartedly that it will be a human choice, as we've said, because the main point of the creative society is to bring back the humanity that we've moved away from. We are excited to explore all the material things, the car, the house, the money and professions, but I always put this question to people. If humans didn't exist, what would be the point of existence here? Who would use this car? Who would use that money? Who would live in this house? It would all be absolutely meaningless. That's why it's so important. I think the forum demonstrates the courage of people and that you can make a difference if you just want to act. It's all about willpower. It's as simple as we've been discussing in the course of the dialogue.
Thank you so much, Maria, for answering this question. I really like your comparison that we have social paralysis. That exactly describes our situation so precisely. We see, we understand, but we do nothing. We only fears about the future. You don't have to fear. It will be very, very painful if you do not act. We all understand, and we saw many examples of the so-called hotspots on our planet. We have so many different wars are going on right now. We have so many places that already affected so badly by the climatic disasters. And we see hundreds of thousands of people suffering right now. And if we will no longer, when we not act, when we do nothing, we will not change the format, the terrible situation will come to us, come to our houses. But at the same time, we all understand that we no longer can live in this format of our society. We all would like to see positive change. We all would like to live in a creative society. But we must understand that that will happen only with the active participation of each person. After all, we humans have enormous potential and tremendous power to change the society. But we need to understand that that change happens only by expression of public opinion. We need to create that public opinion. We need to create public demand for a change from the consumer format to a creative society. And that means simply being active and not staying silent, courageously voicing our desire to live in a creative society, to share forum with every single person that we know right now. And I would like to invite you to watch the short video about this idea and what does it mean to not being silent.
Do you know that people stopped being silent? International discussions.
The truth is that when it comes to migrations and refugees, it is a business.
I saw the market where the children selling out openly.
4 days we were facing the sniper shot us and the bullets above our heads.
If we do not address such issues like human trafficking, tomorrow it could be you, tomorrow it could be me.
Politics is driving the science, not the science driving the politics.
Many people want us to stop to talk, but I say no. This reality can affect and can take your life anytime.
People are losing everything.
$270 trillion.
Where is the money? And where is the result?
This 12,068-year cycle is a clock cycle.
All these problems that we're facing right now, you cannot tackle alone. Thank goodness we have the creative society
to choose human life over currency.
We're living in one big home, and if this big family fighting with each other, destroy walls of the home, tomorrow we will find ourselves in the streets without a roof, without the families.
From every corner, we can actually hear that it is not economically beneficial. But the question is, economically, it is not beneficial for whom? Isn't beneficial for us people to save our own lives?
We need to bring together all of the intellect, all to the science, all of the people that can actually do something.
I think that the members of creative society are the new and real superheroes.
These people already understand that we should urgently act. Do you want to become part of changes? Take action. Don't be silent. You are invited to the new season of international discussions. Watch the forum, Global Crisis. We are people. We want to live. Changes begin from you.
You know, it's really nice that changes really begin from us and depend upon us. That's definitely true that all of us want to see the changes, but unfortunately, most of us are still afraid to speak up and to say the truth that can indeed change our future and the future of our civilization. Our friends and families definitely will pick up on this information quickly, and if we share it with them, and when millions speak, billions will hear. The next question that I'd like to address is to you, Wilkins, right now. So what can we all do to help billions hear us?
Well, as an active participant of the Creative Society, I think these forums, these international discussions, sharing this information on social media, talking to our friends and family, and anyone who's willing to listen to our voice about the prospects of the Creative Society is absolutely what we need to do. Making as many people know about the idea that there is a different format we can live in. Like that social paralysis that was mentioned is just people just conditioned to the idea that this is just the way it is. You know, it can't change. It's been this way since forever. You know, the idea of it changing is, you know, get that out of here. But no, the Creative Society is here. There's so many active participants who are already voicing it and who work very diligently and very much dedicated to doing just this. And I mean, that's so inspiring, you know, just sitting with you guys and watching the forum and just knowing it all is what is really needed. And I think the more that we put this information out, the more people will come along and start to realize for themselves that we can truly live in a society that values human life as the top most important thing. So, you know, this is exactly what we need. This right here, talking about it, informing, and just giving the truth to everyone.
Absolutely. To bring the idea how easy is to build creative society to every single person, that's the life-saving information. Because when you will know it, you will understand, then you will do it. What could be more easy to spread the information, to start this conversation with every person that you know? We do it constantly every day. But why not to pick up the topic of creative society and tell people that everything right now depends on us, on you and me, on our voices, on our active participation, on how active we will share this information. Because practically, this information can go around the globe like in a couple of days. Because we people know each other, and if we really set up as the goal and share the information. And the people who will receive this information will continue to spreading this information. Then we will have a creative society in a couple of months. So why not to try, right, guys? This is the beautiful perspective. That's the beautiful future for all of us, for our children, and for our civilization. We finally will be able to see our civilization thriving. We finally will be able to see our earth green and beautiful. So, dear guest, thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you so much for sharing your understanding and your wisdom with us and with our viewers. We appreciate you taking the time to participate today in this discussion, because your contribution is so important for us. And dear viewers, if you understand the importance of this information, please do not hesitate, act immediately and share it with everybody you know.
Thank you very much, Marina. And dear viewers, if you have watched the international forum and would like to participate in the international discussion as we are having right now with our guests, we are inviting you to contact us at info@creativesociety.com. Please drop off a few lines that you would like to participate in the next discussion, and we will definitely contact you and we will continue talking about the questions that were raised during the forum. As it was already mentioned, there were quite a lot of questions discussed during the forum, and we can speak on any of them that you would find most important and appealing to you. Right now, I would like to thank from the bottom of my heart to our speakers for sharing their opinions, their views on the forum, and opinions about the questions that we've discussed today. Thank you, friends.